Today everyone, I am Aljon Julina and today I will going to report about Magellan-Elcano Circumnavigation. So, the first trip around the world that departed 700 years ago, the first arrival for the European to the Philippines. This voyage was managed by the Portuguese Ferdinand de Magallanes, also known as Magellan, in English, and completed by the Spaniard Juan Sebastian Elcano. The goal for this trip was to open a trade route with a spice island called the Moluccas in Indonesia. 5 boats and around 250 men departed from Seville, navigating the Guadalquivir River to San Local de Barrameda, Cadiz, the door of Atlantic Ocean for this trip. He decided to go to the west because they had to respect the Treaty of Tordesillas, the agreement between Spain and Portugal about the kingdoms distributed in the exploration of the New World. So that time, the Spaniard cannot navigate around Africa. So they continued the previous route of Christopher Columbus. The journey was difficult for them because there were no maps. They didn't even know the route that Magellan wanted to follow. The next step was to cross a canal, later called the Strait of Magellan. But on the way, they lost the first ship, named Santiago, when they were inside the strait, and also when they were inside the Strait of Magellan. The ship San Antonio deserted at night and decided to go back to Spain on the same way, while the other 3 ships continued their journey, crossing the Pacific. Was longer than they expected without seeing the land for 4 months. Hungry and desperate, they even ate the rats in the boat. Many of them got sick and died. Despite the critical situation, the sea was so calm and peaceful during that 4 months, so they decided to name it the Pacific. After this hard voyage, they arrived at Las Marinas and a few weeks later to the Philippines, in Umunhon Island, known today as Samar. There Magellan established a good relationship with rules and their local, especially with Raha Humabon, the Raha of Cebu. Magellan baptized him and his queen in Catholicism and gave them the image of Santo Niño as a symbol of their union, which was the beginning of the Christian religion in the Philippines. Because of this alliance, Humabon Hospitality sent an order to the chief of other island to provide food for Magellan and his people, also to convert them to Christianity. But Lapu-Lapu, the ship of Mactan, refused the order. This fought in the Battle of Mactan, where Magellan was killed. Lapu-Lapu's story is widely known among Filipinos, and he is regarded as the first Filipino hero. It was a critical moment for the expedition. There were only 15 survivors and was not enough men to handle 3 ships, so they decided to board the most affected one and continued their journey with only 2 boats, the Trinidad and the Victoria, with Juan Sebastian Elcano in charge of the expedition. After 5 months of preparing the boats, they reached the Spice Island, but unexpected breakage of the Trinidad ship made them to take a difficult decision. 53 crew members will stay in Las Moluccas until they repair the boat and they able to return to Spain. The Victoria returned along the eastern route and they disobeyed the Treaty of Tordesillas. In that time, the relation between Spain and Portugal was very tense, so the ship sailed away from the coast for them not to be discovered out and sea. Again, Elcano expedition take over the land Cabo Verde, a rival area at the beginning. They didn't recognize them, but when they discovered their identity, Elcano expedition flee in terror, leaving some men behind. Finally, on September 8, 1532, now Victoria ship with 18 map, sick and hungry, arrived back to Seville, Spain, becoming the very first trip around the world by boat. For the first time in history, it was confirmed that the world is round. So that's the end of the Ferdinand, Magellan, and Elcano expedition around the world. Thank you for watching.